Okay, just to let you know, I'll be talking explicitly about the events of the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, and will make mention to some events in the 5th season, so you have been warned. In the aftermath of the War of the Roses between York and Lancaster, In the aftermath of the war between the Starks and Lannisters, the remaining Starks have branched off and started doing their own things. Sansa continues her role as the universe's punching bag, even after losing Joffrey, in a scene that made me cheer, which I don't often do when I see a child poisoned. I didn't say never. After what felt like as close to anything as a happy ending for her, she gets married again to the creepy psychopath de jour, and continues to be punished for not telling the truth in episode 2 of the very first series. Arya, or Arya, it seems to vary, continues to be the most ferocious character in the whole show, but this series has taken a slightly less interesting route. It must be building something, but my god is it slow build. Bran makes absolutely no appearance in this series, which quite frankly wasn't too much of a bad thing. Every scene involving him looking for the Raven was basically a cue for me to start playing Fallout Shelter, even though it looked like it had actually made it somewhere after the death of the child actor from everything. Oh, and Rickon, but who cares about him? Not the show, that's for sure. House Lannister just seems to have gotten bored this series after losing its main bloke, and has, for whatever reason, started to destroy itself from the inside. Since losing both of its big brains, the house seems to be collapsing in on its own stupidity. So while Tyrion goes off to join Camp Dragon, Cersei stays at King's Landing and gets so angry at everyone that she comes up with a revenge so stupid on such an innocent person that it blows up in her face, culminating in a cathartic but extremely uncomfortable scene that goes on way too long. And as for the other northern lad, his story is probably the most interesting, as he tries to unite the wildlings with Westeros to improve the odds against the White Walkers. The threat they pose is finally shown to us as an audience in a fantastic sequence in the 8th episode. And as for that big thing that happens, well, okay, I suppose this is a spoiler review, so final spoiler warning. Jon Snow gets killed by his own guard because they disagree with him, which raises the big question of why. The wildlings have already moved in, and what you've done is killed the only southerner they like. This has raised an internet-wide speculation as to whether he really is dead, because viewers seem to have forgotten what this show does to potential protagonists, and they hadn't killed a Stark in at least 2 series. As always, the acting encourages us to support well-meaning characters and hate those that do bad things, and there is no shortage of bad things, and as before, the list of people to hate is extremely long, and very few of the names on this list will probably get what they deserve for quite some time. This series is just the continuation of the story. Measured in its own, it adds very little, but overall this series is definitely a turning point for the show in the future for however long it goes on for. Which, by the way, HBO, should not be up to you. It should be up to the people making the show. I know you're upset that your money-making machine is eventually going to disappear, but that's how stories work. All books aren't 2,000 pages because paper salesmen fancied lobster for tea.